Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I call this Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of December 17th, 2020 to order. Can we have the roll call, please, Ashley?
Commissioner Kraus,
Here.
Commissioner Sartor,
Here.
Vice Chair Keating,
Here.
Chair Bash,
Here?
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Chapman.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Director Boyd, do we have any current events and reports?
Chair, members of the commission, good evening. 3 items for you this evening. First, I'm sure most of you are aware that the LDO passed on Tuesday. It was adopted. We would just like to extend our gratitude to you as a commission for all of your work in helping us in that effort. I would also like to recognize Joshua Mike, who did an exceptional job shepherding that project. And so just again, thank you to the commission for all of your help in that effort. The second item, several meetings ago, Vice Chair Keating had inquired about the traffic backups at the 303 and Bell. I can report that ADOT is aware of that issue, and they have actually assigned a consultant to that issue. And they actually think that the cause of concern is the timing of the lights. And they think that if they can sort through that it will alleviate some of that backup. And then the third item for you this evening is you'll be receiving an email tomorrow from Ashley. It is a link to a video provided by the Arizona League of Cities and Towns on the roles, responsibilities, and best practices of a planning and zoning commissioner. So that was a training that they did. Unfortunately, by the time we were aware of the training, we could not pull it together to get out to you guys, but we do have a copy of the video. We will kind of keep an eye on it to see if they offer the training again, in case anybody would like to attend it live, whether that would be virtual or in person, depending on when it's offered. So that is all I have for you this evening.
Thank you very much. At this time is call to the public. Ashley, have we had anybody that has phoned in and would like to speak on any item not on the agenda?
No, Chair, we do not.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to item number 1 on the agenda, Ashley.
Consideration and action pertaining to approval or disapproval of the November 19th, 2020 Planning and Zoning Commission minutes.
I move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll have the roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus,
4.
Commissioner Sartor,
4.
Vice Chair Keating,
4.
Chair Bash,
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
4.
Commissioner Smith,
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Vote passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. We'll have item 2 and 3 read into record. I'm going to have Mr. Wingard proceed with both of those items, and then we will have the public hearing on item number 2, the zoning change, and then we will vote individually on items 2 and then item 3. Mr. Wingard.
We'll go ahead and announce. Consideration and action to recommend approval or disapproval to the City Council of a zone change from residential ranch RR to low-density residential with PUD overlay, RL5 PUD, of 99.68 acres of land generally located northwest of the northwestern corner of Beardsley Road and 227th Avenue. Item number 3, consideration and action pertaining to approval of the preliminary plat entitled Preliminary Plat for Rancho Vista, received October 12, 2020, a property generally located northwest of the northwestern corner of Beardsley Road and 227th Avenue, case FS 20-250.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Wingard.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the commission.
Good evening.
Tonight, I'm bring before you Rancho Vista rezone with PUD overlay. This proposed development is located in the western portion of the city, just north of the Sun Valley Parkway and right along the 227th Avenue alignment. A little bit closer in, this area had a lot of older PADs around it, including Surprise Foothills to the west, Buena Vista Ranch to the north, Mesquite Mountain Ranch, and one that you've recently seen, Mesquite Mountain Ranch 3, which is progressing nicely. This appears like it's one of our growth areas, that it's becoming that way. The land use, this is about 100 acres of land for this development. And let me just bring that in. And at a density of 2.86 dwelling units per acre, which is relatively low for a low density parcel. And access, as this is off of the Sun Valley Parkway, access will be provided from both Beardsley Road from the east and 227th from the south from Sun Valley Parkway. The roads will be, the Beardsley Road just west of that or east of that is going to be built in conjunction with Mesquite Mountain Ranch, which is really ahead of the game right now. And then there'll be a local road that will come up there until the adjacent property owners build the full road width on there. Also, just showing the access points. First phase will have 2 points of access, and the secondary and third phases will have access, and all of these will tie together with the development. Now I'm going to go through the requests of the PAD individually, and because of the physical site constraints in resulting in additional open space, they're proposing this to be zoned RL5, which is consistent with the 2.8 dwelling units per acre. And then the lot area is going to be reduced from 7,200 to 6,300 and 5,500. Now, the reasons for that, of course, is we have the major wash corridor going down through the middle. That will be, a lot of these lots will be backing upon. There's also a 300-foot wide power line corridor along the northern edge. And then the center of the project, there is a exception parcel. Now, we did ask the applicant to reach out to that party to see if they wanted to be part of this rezone. They did that, and the property owners did not choose to do that. But just to add to that, this developer is building roads that will lead to that parcel. So when they do develop, it's pretty much plug and play that they'll be able to have access.
Is it inhabited or vacant?
It is vacant, sir. Yes, sir. This is the development standards table that is being altered. Like I said, the 7,200 to 63 and 5,500, and the 60-foot wide base lots to 53 and 48. Again, coming up with that 2.8 dwelling units per acre, which is very low density comparatively. Now, the next request is pretty typical, and this was also going to be taken care of with the LDO coming forward. But since this is going forward now, they're asking for this, and this is the 30-30 rule, which we call, which requires no more than 30% area of a front yard to be driveway, or 30% of the frontage. And in this case, they're asking for 45%, which is pretty consistent, and consistent with what the LDO is going to be proposing, or has been approved. Also, along arterials, we do have a requirement of 60-foot landscape buffer in there. And so this request is to have that, instead of a straight 60-foot, is to have an average of 60-foot. And so I have two examples down there showing, what this would look like. And so the houses would be coming in and out as well as the landscape. Down below, you'll see the straight. The staff feels that the in and out of that is going to provide more visual interest as you drive down through that Beardsley Road. And the last one is, this is indicating or dictates that those houses should front onto that open space, which fronts onto the arterial. That is rarely done. You see this in Arizona traditions, and it's rarely done. And this, again, will be addressed in the LDO. And they're just changing that from a shall to a may on that. Now, the next is another typical request, and this has to do with the recreational fields, and which is a little out of scale when you kind of think of it. You know, what I have in that red circle in the middle is what would be required for recreation fields for this particular parcel. So they're just asking for fields on there and not necessarily the 3.5 acres. Okay, and that concludes the PAD. I'll just jump into the preliminary plat. Some of the slides are similar, so I'm going to just pass through those. You know, the location maps. We had the access. So what this is proposing is a total of 285 lots. 66 of them are going to be 53-foot wide, while the remainder, 119, will be 48-foot wide lots. We did analyze the open space, and we had the applicant provide this, and this breaks it down into both active, passive, and natural. And so required open space for this is 20%. They've provided almost double that. Now, that is because of the corridor down there, down through the middle, and I'd like to add that that will also be a public access easement, so neighboring residents can walk through there at any time, and non-motorized. So horses will be allowed, people will be allowed, that sort of thing. Active, passive, and natural of that is about 20% active, 36% passive, and natural is a little over 40%. Wall plan is pretty typical. Like we do, we have SEPTED principles we follow, where we have eyes on the areas. So anywhere there's open space, we have view fences. Also, there are going to be view fences looking down into the channel, which will really provide some spectacular lots along there. And the wall plan, including the signage, and this is pretty typical, split-faced, and these will be in colors that will accent the neighborhood. With that, I can answer any questions you may have. We also have the applicant online that can answer any questions that staff may not be able to address.
Thank you. Commissioners, I'll open it up to our comments and questions first. It looks like Commissioner Chapman may have a question.
Yeah, I'd have a couple of questions. I was noticing that with these several projects that we have in this area, we have Mesquite Mountain Ranch right next door. We have this proposal here tonight, and then we have North Copper Canyon that we'll be talking about later. Just in the two properties, North Canyon, Copper Canyon, and this one, there's about 800 lots or so. And I'm looking at schools. Is there a school that you know of being built in this area?
Yes, sir. I can answer that. So with the Austin Ranch, they have two school sites in their neighborhood. But for this one in particular, this is the Wickenburg School District, and there are school sites in the Mesquite Mountain Ranch area as well as Surprise Foothills area.
So I didn't notice any information really about an agreement with the school district. I think I saw something about them talking to them, but is there?
Yes, sir.
Do you know of an agreement or proposed? I mean, we're talking 800 and some lots at minimum, probably a student to 1.3. That's a school, and I'm just wondering, in these productive talks, if in fact they have talked to the district.
Absolutely. The app development has talked with the district, and we've supplied all this information to the district and did receive a letter of very much of support from the Wickenburg district.
Okay, well, I don't recall seeing that. The other question I have is that I noticed on their application here with the presentation or submittal that under 2.1 it says property location description, and it has a list of all these acreages. It says the following assessed parcels numbers are included with this zoning application, and it's got a 92 acre, a 92 acre, 92 acre, 92 acre, and how many, what is this zoning request? Is it 92 acres or is it all of these?
It is for 99.668 gross acres. And so what they might be referring to there is the net acreage on that?
I really don't understand it. That's why I was asking the question. We can talk about it later.
Absolutely. I will definitely get into
Okay,
that.
I can show you the information. You can respond to it. Also, I noticed that we have a large corridor there, wash, if you will. And it seems to be they're going to protect that and keep it open for drainage and for, I was thinking of the transportation of the wildlife. Do we know if that's a wildlife corridor in that area?
Chair and Commissioner, this is in the area of the wildlife corridor. The corridor kind of goes off to the left and the right, but there's still, this is still utilized by wildlife in through here.
So when it gets down to the street level,
Yes, sir.
and I don't have it in front of me, but is there a bridge there? Is it drainage? Can the wildlife cross without crossing the road, or can they go under the road? Or this is a question.
Yes, sir. So this is the crossing right here. There will be culverts in through here. They would be crossing over the road in both areas on where it enters the land and it exits the land.
So their percentage of doing it at night is better than during the day, I take it.
That is
Okay.
correct, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioners? Commissioner Smith?
Yeah, I'd like you to go back over the square that's not a part of this. It's not owned by the people, it's owned by another person. And it's not gonna, they'll have to come through another zoning request for this parcel? Is it still rural residential?
Chair, Commissioner, yes, sir. We did encourage them to reach out to them and do that now. And so what they'll have to do is come back into the city and rezone that if they want to do anything other than 1 acre lots.
Okay, how about the 3 parcels that are down here off of 27th in the Beardsley Road alignment? It looks like there's 3 parcels there. Are they the same? They're rural residential now?
Yes, sir, they are.
They
rural residential.
would have to come in and ask for any type of a rezone to develop those 3 at some time?
Yes, sir.
And the 227th alignment will not be completed until those 3 parcels would be actually developed where they could pay for their share of the road. Is that correct?
If I'm going to change to the access slide on here, and you'll notice that in phase 3 that the half street will be built all the way down to Beardsley Road.
Okay, so they're going to go ahead and build it.
Yes, sir. They're
So
going to build their half
those,
street there.
those 2 parcels that face it wouldn't have to build that half. Is that
Right.
correct?
What they're going to have to do is do the landscaping, the curbing, and sidewalks.
Okay, so they're just going to do the road,
Yes,
no
sir.
curb, sidewalks, et
Yes, sir.
cetera. So, okay, so there will be a road all the way up to when they get to phase 3, so they can enter in there.
Correct,
And
sir.
Beardsley is finished now up to the first entryway, is that correct?
It is graded at this point, and so right now the PAD amendment was approved, the preliminary plat is approved, and staff is currently reviewing the final plat, which will come forward shortly. And after that, that will be part of the first
Okay,
phase
then
is Beardsley
they won't
Road.
go down to the second point at that point.
No,
Is that
sir.
correct? They'll just go down halfway on Beardsley?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a strange configuration. That's all I can say.
Any other comments, commissioners? Okay, the applicant have any comments? Hearing none, we will go to the public hearing.
Hi, can you hear me? Sorry, this is the applicant.
Go ahead, state your name.
Sorry, this is Mark Reddy with RVI. I'm the applicant for the project. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, thank you for inviting me to participate. I just wanted to address the one question that one of the council members had about the acreage discrepancy. It's really not a discrepancy. The ownership, the property owner owns several parcels, and all of those parcels are collectively in an LLC called 92 Acre Partners. So that really doesn't have anything to do with the actual acreage. That's just the name of the LLC. So it looks like it's 9 parcels. Those 9 parcels collectively add up to the 99.68 acres that are part of the zoning case. So I just wanted to clarify that. And then just to follow up on what Bart said about the exception parcels, we did reach out to those owners several times and even offered to zone their properties for free as part of our effort, and they all refused. And so that's why they are exceptions, and they would have to go through their own zoning process at some point in the future if they decide they want to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With that, we will open the public hearing on item number 2, the consideration and action to recommend approval or disapproval to City Council of the zoning change. Do we have anybody that would like to speak to that?
No, Chair, we do not.
Hearing none, we will close the public hearing, and we will have a motion on item number 2.
I move to recommend approval to the mayor and city council the proposed zone change from residential ranch to low-density residential with PUD overlay for 99.68 acres of land located in the western portion of the city of Surprise to modify land uses and development standards generally located north and west of the northwest corner of Beardsley Road and 227th Avenue, subject to stipulations A through B.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus,
4.
Commissioner Sartor,
4.
Vice Chair Keating,
4.
Chair Bash,
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
4.
Commissioner Smith,
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Motion passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. And now that we've had the presentation on item number 3, I'll entertain a motion for item number 3.
I move to recommend approval of the preliminary plat to the City Council for a plat entitled Preliminary Plat for Rancho Vista, received October 12th, 2020, a property generally located northwest of the northwestern corner of Beardsley Road and 227th Avenue, subject to conditions A through D.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus,
4.
Commissioner Sartor,
4.
Vice Chair Keating,
4.
Chair Bash,
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
4.
Commissioner Smith,
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Motion passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. We will now have item number 4.
Consideration and action to approve or disapprove a preliminary plat entitled North Copper Canyon Parcels 2, 3.2, and 3.3, received November 3rd, 2020, a property generally located north of the intersection of Deer Valley and Austin Ranch Roads, case FS 20-328.
Mr. Wingard.
Good evening once again. So this is another preliminary plat for the Austin Ranch, now known as North Copper Canyon PAD, parcels 2, 3.2, and 3.3. Vicinity map, as you all may remember, this is in the northwest portion of the city, right along Grand Avenue, north of the 303. And the highlighted portion shows the preliminary plat that we're looking at here this evening. And surrounding zoning, which is a mixture of rural residential, RL5, PAD. Now, this is about 142 acres, 525 lots, and 14 tracts. This going in there, this is providing, there's going to be 3 final plats that will become of this. The access will be along 183rd from Pinnacle Peak. There's going to be 2 accesses from Pinnacle Peak, 183rd, second access, and from Austin Ranch Drive, which feeds off of Citrus Road to the south. And just to update you, The Pinnacle Peak is a collector, 40-foot wide half street will be built. 183rd is a collector, is 80-foot full street, except for this little section here. This will come in with the adjacent parcel. And then Austin Ranch Drive, which is, like I said, a local street, 55-foot wide, full street. Landscaping is, as if you've been out to Austin Ranch, you know that the landscaping is beautiful out there. They have many amenities, and this just contributes to that. You'll notice that the open spaces do line up to provide pedestrian access throughout the development, all the way down through here. And so this is showing the open space requirements. The PAD requires only 11.8% open space. In this particular parcel, there's 30.7% open space being provided, a bulk of that being preserved natural open space. And this, again, was negotiated with the applicant to provide a public access easement through here for non-motorized vehicles. And with that, I can answer any questions, and the applicant is online in case they need to chime in.
Okay. I'll open with the commissioners. Are there any comments?
I have a
Vice Chair
question.
Keating?
Could you go back to the map, kind of a larger picture of the whole area?
Absolutely.
Yeah, as we've already approved a lot for this area of parcels and lots. Do you know if the Arizona Department of Transportation is already doing any studies about a potential traffic light at the US 60 Grand Avenue right there where all this traffic will turn in and out of?
Well, I can tell you that the Arizona Department of Transportation is privy to everything that we do there. They're aware of exactly what is going on. We provide that to them, and we get traffic impact analyses to provide to them to whether there is a warrant for that. At some point, there will be a warrant for that. I'm just not sure exactly when that would be.
Okay. Do you know, would the Arizona, the state of Arizona, pick up the cost for a stoplight there since it's on the 60, or would the city Surprise bear part of that burden?
That's a good question that I will have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I know we'll see a lot more in this area come up, so we can always ask that question again and again, or we can have an answer ready in the future. Thank you. That's all I have.
Commissioners? Okay. Would the applicant add anything to the conversation? Hearing none. This doesn't require a public hearing, so I will open the floor for a motion.
Move to recommend approval of the preliminary plat to the city council for the plat entitled North Proper Canyon Parcel 2, 3.2, and 3.3, received November 3rd, 2020. And property generally located north of the intersection of Deer Valley and Austin Ranch Road, subject to stipulations A through C.
So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Smith. It's been moved and seconded. We will have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus.
4.
Commissioner Sartor.
4.
Vice Chair Keating.
4.
Chair Bash.
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum.
4.
Commissioner Smith.
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Motion passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you, and we will entertain item number 5.
Consideration and action to approve or disapprove a site plan entitled Site Plan EOS Fitness, received November 3rd, 2020, located south of Waddell Road and west of Litchfield Road, case FS 20-437.
Thank you. Sergio Angula, you like that beard's nice, I like.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Tonight I bring before you the site plan application for the new EOS Fitness in Marley Park. The site is 3.74 acres, located on the southwest corner of Waddell Road and Litchfield Road in the Marley Park Square development. It is zoned PAD with a land use designation for employment development, which permits the proposed use. Here's just showing you an overall master conceptual site plan for Marley Park Square. As you may be aware, that area along Waddell Road, highlighted in blue, is already existing, and showing in red the EOS site. Access to this new portion of development would be through shared driveways that have direct access off of Waddell Road and Litchfield Roads to the east and to the north. On site, the building will be 40,000 square feet, and it would also include an outdoor exercise area of roughly just over 1,300 square feet. Parking is distributed to the east and west of the building for a total of 288 parking spaces, exceeding the minimum requirement for a fitness center. The site also continues the already good pedestrian connectivity from the existing developments, and it will continue to provide that same pedestrian accesses to the future adjacent developments. On site, the applicant proposes 17% of landscape, exceeding the minimum 15% that's required in commercial development in Marley Park. And the proposed planting species will match the already existing developments to the north, so continuing that same throughout. Here's the proposed elevations of the new building. It meets the design standards of Marley Park Square, the Marley Park PAD, and is pulling out similar colors of the newer buildings that were built adjacent to the site. And these are the other two elevations. The applicant provided a couple renderings to give us a better idea of the buildings as well. Staff recommends that the commission approves the site plan subject to stipulations A through F as listed in the staff report.
Thank you. I will open it up to questions from the commission. Chair, Vice Chair Keating, and then go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner Sartor.
The outdoor area was to the west of the building. I know we've approved a couple shaded areas, like in addition to already existing buildings. Is that covered, or is there a shaded area provided? Do you know?
Commissioner, it doesn't have a roof over it. It just has some sort of materials along the boundary of the area. Yeah.
Thanks.
Vice Chair Keating.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy to see the development on that corner. Very happy to see that. Prior to the pandemic, there was a parking issue with the business on the corner, Native Grill and Wings. On their really busy days and nights, they had a lot of overflow parking. This parking lot will be in an area that could either help alleviate some of that parking issue, or it could create a problem for this applicant in trying to keep people out of their parking area if that's what they wish. So I'm just curious, has the applicant reached out to Native Grill and Wings about some potential shared parking agreement?
Vice Chair, not exactly sure if the applicant reached out directly to the developer in the corner. And I don't know if you're aware with the other EOS locations, but especially morning times and evening times, they are pretty heavily parked. The applicant is on the line. If you'd like to ask that directly to him.
It really won't affect how I vote. I was just curious, really more than anything, if this, if they had thought about that and if this would be a possible solution for the overflow parking.
Does the applicant have a response?
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. This is Jason Thanks with SCG.
Please state your name.
Yes, Jason Thanks with SCG Engineering. I'm representing Barclay Group and EOS Fitness for the application. Thank you for your inquiry. I'd like to address your question regarding parking. I'm not aware that EOS Fitness has specifically entered into a conversation I think naturally in these centers, people are going to park where they can find a parking space, and there's generally there's cross-access agreements throughout, so people can freely move their vehicles in and out. So I'm not aware that there's an issue, but I will share that with POS. It's something that they can, if they'd like to
Any
reach out to
rebuttal?
neighbors.
So, thank you. I appreciate you looking into that. Just something that, you might want to point out to them so it doesn't become a problem. Thank you.
Great.
Sergio, could you go back to the access points? Are those all basically right in, right out? I think there's a median that obviously on Waddell Road in that location, so it'd be a right in, right out.
Mhm.
And I think the median extends down on Litchfield. So basically everybody has to come south on Litchfield or east on Waddell to gain access, and then when they leave. Is that true?
Mr. Chair, so along Waddell Road, with the limitations of that easement, the only full access is what you see furthest to the west. And along Litchfield Road, let me see if I believe that's yeah. So as far as right now, it would be right ins, right outs out on Litchfield Road, with a
And then the full
full
access
movement will be further south.
is
on
the
Soledad,
further
I
west
believe.
one there. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions from the commission?
Can I expand on that?
Commissioner,
Is there a light going to
Kraus?
go into that west expansion at all, or west access? Because I see a lot of people shooting out of there and possible accidents. Is there any plans for streetlights there?
Yeah, Commissioner, on Waddell Road, I'm not certain whether or not there'll be a street light there, but I could check that for you. And then on Litchfield Road, on Soledad Street, there'll be a light on, which is south there on this image.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions? If not, this doesn't require a public hearing, so we will entertain a motion.
And I'd like to move to approve the site plan entitled Site Plan EOS Fitness, received November 3rd, 2020, located on the South Waddell Road and west of Litchfield Road, subject to stipulations A through F.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and we will have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus,
4?
Commissioner Sartor,
4.
Vice Chair Keating,
4.
Chair Bash,
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
4.
Commissioner Smith,
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Motion passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 6.
Consideration and action to approve or disapprove a site plan for Town at Surprise Center, generally located on the northeast corner of Elm Street and 142nd Avenue, subject to conditions A through H. Case FS 20-508.
Thank you, Ashley. Go ahead, Mr. Wingard.
Good evening once again. So this is known as the Town at Surprise Center, townhome community that is just north of where we are right now, located right along Elm Street, a little bit closer in. So it's bounded by Elm Street on the south, 140th Avenue on the east, and 142nd on the west. Zoning is PAD and PAD all the way around. We have the West Point Town Center to the east and Kingswood/Suns Village, PAD to the north. The site plan, this site plan is for a 114 unit rental townhouse community. A little bit closer in, this showing how this works out. This appears a little bit tight, but between each of the units, there's going to be a paseo with walkways for pedestrians to go out to the street and able to access the other commercial areas in Surprise Center. Access, there's full access all the way around. And then on the eastern edge, there is a additional residential entrance. And on the western edge is an emergency-only vehicle entrance. And then highlighted here are some of the amenities, which include 2 dog parks and a pool area. Parking for the facility, it is stipulated for this residential development that parking has to occur in the garages. But with that, this also has a reciprocal parking agreement with the property to the north. And then Elm Street allows on-street parking, which you can see in that blue strip, which would allow an additional 55 spaces for the development. Elevations, this is the modern interpretation of the Mediterranean required by the PAD. These are in 4-plex, 6-plex, and 7-plex. And you'll notice there are 2 different color themes. They're both muted earth tones as well as muted grays. And then also the elevations of the leasing office, which will match materials and design with the primary structures. Landscaping will be around the entire perimeter of the site, as well as those paseos we talked about in the dog parks and the pool area. A little bit closer shot of that pool area and leasing office and the entry into the facility. And with that, I can answer any questions you may have. We also have the applicant on the line that can chime in when the staff cannot answer particular questions.
Thank you for covering the parking issue. I know that was something that stuck out like a sore thumb to me. The other thing that I wanted to ask you, which I don't know whether I missed it or not, is this gated?
This is gated. This is a gated community. Right here are the types of walls. There's both a block wall, and then we have these wrought iron fences that will go along this area here. And then there will be gates at each one of these openings out into the public area. But it is gated. Yes.
Thank you. I think this fits very well with at least, I think, a concept that I've heard for the city center area. So I'm glad to see that we're kind of off the mark on this one. So,
Wonderful.
Commissioners, any other comments?
I have one.
I have one.
Commissioner Chapman and then
Yes,
Commissioner
could you-
Smith.
On the map that you have presented of the structures, yes,
Okay. Yes.
that one. On these, either 4-plex, 8-plex, whatever they are, on the lower sections, I was looking at trash pickup. Is that, what are we doing with respect to them picking up trash from these buildings? I don't see a truck pulling in and out of there.
Chair, Commissioner, that's a very good question. This will be a private hauler that will collect trash, but trash is going to be located along, and they'll be marked and located along the ends of the units through here. So trash trucks can come in, collect, and go one way through the facility and out.
Okay, so they'll be carrying them out to the centralized area then?
Yes, sir. So the garages have room in them for trash cans.
Okay,
And so on trash day, they will have to come down the little driveway and put them on the ends, the end
Okay.
caps.
all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Smith.
Just curiosity, what size are these units as far as square footage?
I think they were 1,200 and 1,367, something like that.
Right, yes.
Oh, okay, I just missed it. But yeah,
Sure.
it fits the city center, and having residential near where the restaurants are makes some sense. So
Wonderful.
that's
Yeah,
a very good
enticing.
project.
Yes.
Any other comments, Commissioners?
I would just say I was very happy to see this project also. I think they're probably going to have to turn away a lot of people that want to buy one of these units and not lease. I think that'll probably be the only problem that they have.
That's a good problem
Yes.
for probably 5 or 10 years down the road for them. Any other comments, Commissioners?
Yeah, good project.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve a site plan for town at Surprise Center, generally located on the northeast corner of Elm Street and 142nd Avenue, subject to stipulation, to conditions A through H.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. We'll entertain the roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus,
4.
Commissioner Sartor,
4.
Vice Chair Keating,
4.
Chair Bash,
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
4.
Commissioner Smith,
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Motion passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. Item 7.
Consideration and action to approve or disapprove a site plan amendment for Horizon Aviation Machining Accessory Structure, generally located south of the southeast corner of Rio Glass Road and 132nd Avenue, subject to stipulations A through D. Case FS 20-676.
Thank you. Mr. Wingard.
Yes, sir. Next project is a Horizon Aviation Machining Site Plan Amendment. The Horizon is located in the southeast corner of our city in the Skyway Business Park. A little bit closer in, you can see this is on 132nd and just south of Rio Glass Road, south of the APS, the existing APS substation. In zoning, this is the particular parcel and the surroundings is the Skyway Business Park PAD, and we have industrial performance IP, equivalent to an I-1 zoning district, and business park. Okay. Site plan, so this is 1.51 acres. Existing is all the paving, the sidewalks, and the existing building. And what is proposed is a 4,675 square foot accessory building. Because this is over a 10% increase of the overall size, this is why the site plan is required. And you'll notice that on the conditions, we had a condition that the canopy on the eastern side had to be shortened as per building safety requirements. I'll show that in here, and this will also show that on the elevations. Now, the elevations, these mirror what is the primary building. It's a metal building with, and we have the colors, white, tan, and cocoa brown that will match the existing facility. And with that, I can answer any questions, and the applicant is on this line as well.
Okay. Commissioners, any comments?
I just have, what kind of storage are we talking about here?
Well, Chair, Commissioner, this is a machining shop for aeronautical equipment, so it's going to be products mostly that come in, you know, materials and products that need to be stowed safely and securely away.
Okay. No explosives or things like that?
No explosives.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments, commissioners? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the site plan amendment for Horizon Aviation and Machining, generally located south of the southeast corner of Rio Glass Road and 132nd Avenue, subject to conditions A through D.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kraus,
4.
Commissioner Sartor,
4.
Vice Chair Keating,
4.
Chair Bash,
4.
Commissioner Rosenbaum,
4.
Commissioner Smith,
4.
Commissioner Chapman.
4.
Motion passes with 7 votes in favor.
Thank you. Do we have any other business and future agenda items that the commission would like to bring forward? If not, I'll have a motion to.
One question, when is our first meeting in January?
Chair Bash, Commissioner Smith, I believe the first meeting in January is January 7th.
Okay, I didn't know if we moved it for the holidays. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments, commission? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.